Welcome to the MSRO Classroom. This session focuses on Poem 2, The Laburnum Top by Ted Hughes. Please leave a like, subscribe, and share the video. The Laburnum Top is a nature poem in which Ted Hughes depicts a brief yet significant transformation in a laburnum tree. At first, the tree stands silent and lifeless in the yellow September sunlight, suggesting the onset of autumn. The sudden arrival of a goldfinch changes everything. As she enters the dense branches to feed her chicks, the quiet tree bursts into life with fluttering wings, chirping voices, and vibrant movement. Once the mother bird flies away, the tree returns to its original stillness. Through its natural event, Hughes explores themes of motherhood, the cycle of life, and the dynamic rhythms of nature. The laburnum top is silent, quite still in the afternoon yellow September sunlight, a few leaves yellowing, all its seeds fallen. The poem opens with a calm and motionless picture of a laburnum tree on a quiet September afternoon. The words silent and quite still immediately establish an atmosphere of peace and inactivity. Nothing appears to be moving, and the tree remains almost lifeless. The mention of September is significant. September marks the transition from summer to autumn, a period where nature begins preparing for winter. The yellow sunlight, yellowing leaves, and fallen seeds suggest that the tree has completed its growth cycle and is gradually entering a period of rest. The poet intentionally introduces a sense of stillness at the poem's outset, thereby heightening the impact of the goldfinch's dramatic arrival. The opening lines further reflect a recurring natural rhythm in which intervals of quietness inevitably follow periods of activity. Till the goldfinch comes with a twitching chirrup, a suddenness, a startlement at a branch end. The peaceful silence is suddenly interrupted by the arrival of a goldfinch, a small colorful bird known for its lively movements. The phrase twitching chirrup combines movement with sound. The bird does not enter slowly. It arrives with quick, jerky movements, accompanied by a short chirping call. Ted Hughes further emphasizes this unexpected arrival through the words suddenness and startlement. These abstract nouns evoke a sense of surprise in the reader, mirroring the suddenness observed in nature. The contrast between the silent tree and the energetic bird immediately creates movement and excitement within the poem. The presence of a single living creature is sufficient to transform the entire atmosphere. Then, sleek as a lizard and alert and abrupt, she enters the thickness and a machine starts up, of chitterings and a tremor of wings and trillings. Ted Hughes employs an unconventional yet effective simile by comparing the goldfinch to a lizard. Like a lizard, the bird moves swiftly, smoothly, and almost unnoticed as she slips into the tree's dense foliage. The words alert and abrupt further highlight her quick reflexes and energetic nature. The most striking image appears in the line, "A machine starts up." Ted Hughes compares the nest hidden inside the tree to a machine suddenly coming to life. The moment the mother bird enters, the silence is replaced by the sounds of hungry chicks, fluttering wings, and joyful chirping. This machine is not mechanical but natural. The mother bird's arrival acts like the switch that activates the entire nest. This phrase effectively conveys the organized yet instinctive rhythm characteristic of family life in nature. The words chitterings, tremor of wings, and trillings appeal to both the reader's hearing and imagination. The poet imbues the scene with movement and sound, rendering the previously silent tree vibrant and animated. The whole tree trembles and thrills. It is the engine of her family. She stokes it full, then flirts out to a branch end, showing her barred face identity mask. The excitement inside the tree now becomes so intense that it appears as though the entire tree is trembling. The tree itself remains stationary. The continuous fluttering of the chicks and their mother creates the illusion of movement. The poet calls the goldfinch the engine of our family. This is one of the poem's central metaphors. Just as an engine provides energy to keep a machine running, the mother bird provides food, care, warmth, and life to her chicks. She is the driving force that sustains the family. The phrase, "she stokes it full," continues the machine imagery. To stoke means to add fuel to a fire. Here, the mother bird feeds her hungry chicks, nourishing and energizing them. After feeding her chicks, the goldfinch moves to the tip of her branch, revealing her barred face identity mask, as Hughes describes. The distinctive markings on her face act like a natural identity card, briefly revealing who she is before she disappears once again into the open sky. This moment highlights the balance between individuality and the responsibilities of motherhood. Though she belongs to her family, she remains an independent creature of the wild. Then, with eerie, delicate whistle-chirrup whisperings, she launches away towards the infinite, and the laburnum subsides to empty. After fulfilling her role, the goldfinch departs as abruptly as she arrived. Her departure is accompanied by soft, delicate sounds described by the beautiful phrase, "whistle-chirrup whisperings." Ted Hughes combines different bird sounds to create an almost musical farewell. The phrase "towards the infinite" suggests much more than simply flying away. It symbolizes the endless sky, the boundless freedom of nature, and the continuation of life beyond what humans can observe. Once the bird departs, the tree becomes quiet again. The poet writes that the laburnum subsides to empty. The word "subsides" suggests a gradual settling down rather than an abrupt stop. The tree returns to the same silence with which the poem began. However, the silence now acquires a different significance. The previously hidden vitality beneath the tree's still exterior is revealed as a world sustained by care and natural rhythms. Let's move to the analysis of the poem. First point is the poetic progression. A notable feature of the laburnum top is its carefully structured progression. Although the poem describes a brief event, Ted Hughes transforms it into a symbolic representation of the life cycle. The poem unfolds in 3 distinct stages. First, silence. The poem opens with an image of complete stillness. The laburnum tree appears lifeless in the quiet September afternoon. The yellowing leaves and the fallen seeds indicate that the season of growth has ended, and nature is gradually slowing down. Nothing appears to be happening. Second stage, sudden life. Everything changes with the arrival of the goldfinch. Within seconds, the silent tree bursts into movement and sound. Hidden chicks begin chirping, wings flutter rapidly, and the entire tree seems to vibrate with life. The transformation is so dramatic that Ted Hughes compares it to a machine suddenly starting. Third stage, silence reclaimed or silence returns. Once the mother bird flies away, the excitement disappears just as quickly as it began. The tree settles back into silence, almost as if nothing had happened. However, it is now evident that beneath this outward stillness exists a hidden world of life poised to reawaken. Thus, the poem follows a circular movement. Silence, life, silence. This circular structure effectively mirrors the perpetual rhythms of nature. Second point is the contrast between stillness and activity. The entire poem is built upon contrast. The opening presents a tree that is silent and quite still. There is no movement, no sound, and no visible signs of life. Ted Hughes deliberately creates this peaceful atmosphere to make the goldfinch's arrival more dramatic. The moment the bird appears, the poem becomes filled with action. Chirrup, chitterings, trillings, trembling wings, fluttering movement. This contrast illustrates the rapid transformations possible in nature. Life often persists beneath apparent silence. awaiting the opportune moment to emerge. Next point is the machine metaphor, very important. Perhaps the most striking image in the poem is a machine starts up. At first, the comparison seems unusual because machines are artificial while birds belong to the natural world. However, Ted Hughes uses this metaphor brilliantly. The hidden nest functions like a perfectly organized machine. The mother bird provides the energy, the chicks immediately respond, every movement is coordinated, feeding follows an instinctive rhythm. When the mother arrives, the entire nest becomes active. When she leaves, everything stops. The metaphor highlights that nature operates with notable precision and order. Next point is the mother goldfinch, the engine of the family. Ted Hughes calls the goldfinch the engine of our family. Just as an engine powers an entire vehicle, the mother bird sustains her family through care, nourishment, and protection. Her arrival brings food, her presence brings energy, her departure restores silence. The poem therefore emphasizes the universal significance of motherhood. Whether among birds, animals, or humans, the mother often becomes the source of warmth, security, and life itself. Ted Hughes presents motherhood as a natural phenomena, depicting it as one of the nature's most fundamental instincts rather than through sentimentality. Next point in the poem is nature as a living organism. At first glance, the poem appears to describe only a tree and a bird. In reality, Ted Hughes presents nature as one interconnected system. The tree provides shelter, protection, a resting place. The goldfinch provides nourishment, care, continuity of life. The chicks represent the next generation. Together, they form a complete ecosystem. Nothing exists independently. Each depends upon the other. This concept reflects the interconnectedness of nature. Moving on, let's study the significance of the month September. The season chosen by Ted Hughes is far from accidental. September represents transition. It stands between the fullness of summer and the stillness of winter. The tree has completed its reproductive cycle. Its seeds have fallen. Its leaves are turning yellow. The season therefore symbolizes maturity, change, and preparation for rest. Amid seasonal decline, the presence of the goldfinch serves as a brief yet vivid reminder that life persists despite ongoing change. Thus, the poem beautifully balances endings with new beginnings. Next point is movement and sound. The poet demonstrates a notable ability to evoke both visual and auditory aspects of nature. The poem begins almost completely silent. Gradually, sound enters through twitching chirrup, chitterings, trillings, whistle chirrup whisperings. Similarly, movement increases steadily. First, nothing moves. Then the goldfinch appears. Next, come fluttering wings. Finally, the entire tree appears to tremble. This transformation can be likened to a slow motion sequence that abruptly transitions into dynamic activity. The poem begins with silence. It also ends with silence, yet the two silences are not identical. In the beginning, the tree appears empty because the reader has not yet discovered the hidden nest. In the ending, the tree appears empty once again. However, the reader now understands that life still exists within it. The silence acquires new significance. The beginning presents appearance. The conclusion imparts a deeper understanding. This circular structure reflects the perpetual cycle of nature, with stillness giving way to activity and activity returning to stillness. Next section is theme. Rather than conveying a single message, the Laburnum top explores several interconnected themes. First, nature's cyclical rhythm. The poem illustrates that nature constantly moves through recurring cycles of stillness and activity, growth and decline, arrival and departure. The changing state of the laburnum tree reflects this internal rhythm. Second, motherhood. The goldfinch symbolizes selfless maternal love. Her arrival transforms the silent tree into a lively home, and her nurturing presence sustains her young. It subtly highlights motherhood as one of nature's most vital, life-giving forces. Third, interdependence of living beings. The poem emphasizes that no living creature exists in isolation. The tree shelters the nest, the mother feeds the chicks, and together they form a balanced ecosystem in which each element supports the others. Fourth, appearance and reality. Outwardly, the laburnum tree seems lifeless, yet hidden within its branches is a vibrant world of activity. Ted Hughes suggests that reality frequently resides beneath the surface, awaiting discovery. Fifth, transience and impermanence. The goldfinch's visit is brief, serving as a reminder of the transience of beautiful moments. Nature's vitality is fleeting, yet it recurs cyclically, establishing change as an essential aspect of existence. Moving on, at its heart, the laburnum top is not merely a poem about a tree and a bird. It is a meditation on the quiet rhythms of nature and the sustaining power of motherhood. Ted Hughes shows how a seemingly ordinary event reveals the extraordinary harmony of the natural world. Through vivid imagery and powerful contrast, he reminds us that life often flourishes unseen, and that even moments of silence conceal hidden energy, love, and continuity. The poem ultimately celebrates the delicate balance that governs all living things. To summarize, the laburnum top is a seemingly simple poem that reveals the beauty inherent in ordinary moments. Through the brief visit of a mother goldfinch to her nest, Ted Hughes transforms a quiet autumn afternoon into a meditation on life, motherhood, and nature. The poem shows that life often thrives beneath outward silence. A tree that appears empty is actually a lively home filled with movement, sound, and care. With vivid imagery, striking metaphors, and sharp contrasts, Ted Hughes portrays nature as constantly shifting between stillness and activity. Ultimately, the laburnum top celebrates the interconnectedness of living beings and the quiet but essential role of motherhood in sustaining life. Its circular movement, progressing from silence to life and back to silence, mirrors the internal cycles of nature and heightens awareness of the hidden vitality in everyday surroundings. We have finished explaining Poem 2, The Laburnum Top by Ted Hughes. For more in-depth study, visit our reference website msroclassroom.com for detailed study guides, literary devices, extra questions, themes, character sketches, and extract-based questions for Class 11. In the next session, we'll analyze Chapter 4. If you enjoyed the content, ask questions, subscribe, like, and share the video. And please don't forget to hit the notification bell. Bye-bye.